Welcome in to the next episode, the latest episode of Betting the Pitch presents the Need for Seeds college basketball episode. We're live the night before Ben at Big East Ben's wedding, and we are doing a live stream, our first one on Twitter. We also have the designer of our beautiful logo, Matthew.Inc. Is that right on Instagram?
That is correct, sir.
Matthew.Inc. He doesn't want to say anything other than that on the show, but I mean, what an outfit. I mean, velvet shirt. I mean, come on. Wow. And then we got the guy getting married at Big East Ben. He's behind me. We are going to go through a normal slate of games based on the biggest card, maybe Saturday card of our year, as the college basketball gods are trying to avoid the NFL on Sunday. It's going to be 5-6 good games. We'll give you best bets and hopefully give some winners out. If you're a member of my Patreon, thank you so much. Appreciate all my patrons. But if you're not there yet, go to www.patreon.com/the_real_G Warner. Best spot to get all my plays, leans, write-ups, all that sort of stuff. These guys agreeing in the back. I love it. But we're going to get into that first game. So we'll start. All lines are quoted courtesy of Bet Online. We'll start in the center of the country. We'll go with Iowa State visiting Kansas. Number's been bet all over the place, but I might as well get an active or a current number at Bet Online. We'll see. Kansas may be one of the biggest underdogs they've been since I've been following college basketball in a long time. Currently, Iowa State a 4.5-point favorite at home with a total at 142.5 points. What do we think, Big East Ben?
I love Iowa State. I love Monklivovic. I love the backcourt. I love Lipsy. Momcilovic. He has been so good. Future Big 12 Player of the Year.
Well, he's from Wisconsin.
Piscataway, Wisconsin.
Yeah, whatever that is.
And that's why I'm going with the Jayhawks. Listen, come on. Why is Kansas 4.5-point fucking dogs?
Whoa, language.
Sorry.
Language.
Why is Kansas 4.5-point dogs to Iowa State? They're not going to get 3 big losses this early. It's Kansas. Give me a break. Give me the Jayhawks in Hilton plus 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the home team. I think ultimately I'm just too into home teams at this point in the season. It's too hard to win. Iowa State's going to get away with bloody murder inside, and I don't know how well Hunter Dickinson's going to handle that. So give me Iowa State minus 4.5 as we move to our next game on this list, which I will pull up hopefully shortly. So 4.5, you're taking Iowa State, right?
No, I'm taking Kansas.
I'm taking Iowa State. That's right. Okay, cool. Where the heck did this game go? This is live. Let's go to our next game on Saturday. It was, here we go. I got this up now. Is North Carolina visiting Florida State? I think that was in the 7 region earlier. Let's check to make sure. Now, it looks like Florida State is 6-point underdog at home, total of 153.
It's simple. Florida State kills teams on the road. They are one of the best teams to hoops.
Florida State or North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Beat Clemson handily, beat Pittsburgh handily.
Yep.
This Florida State team is worse than both those teams. Don't overthink it. Go North Carolina at later points.
Ooh, I will take Florida State in that one. I am not interested in backing Carolina. I think they're at the peak of their performance this year.
He also took Pittsburgh in that North Carolina road game.
I did.
And Pittsburgh got blown up.
They had one of their worst 3-point shooting nights of the year. I don't think that happens for North Carolina much.
Not a good 3-point shooting.
Rest of the season. Florida State is not, but they're better inside, and I think that's where
Pittsburgh isn't.
Pittsburgh is not a what?
Good 3-point shooting.
Well, they think they are. They take a lot of them.
Yep.
If you make them at home and you take a lot of them, you can beat a lot of teams. But that didn't work out that night. But I'm still into the Noles. I feel like they've been playing a lot better after it seemed like Leonard Hamilton was going to be forced out of that job. He seems like he's sticking around. So I'm going to stay with Florida State.
Yeah, back to 73-year-old coach.
73-year-old coach. Yeah, against Hubert Davis. So give me that. I'll take it. Move next to my alma mater. BYU is visiting is a home game for BYU. Texas at BYU. And for that number, we have Texas a 7-point touchdown favorite. Or excuse me, BYU a 7-point touchdown favorite at home to Texas. BYU -7 at Texas, total of 150.5 points.
Texas has no fucking heart. Screwing heart.
Screwing heart. No screwing heart.
Yeah. I mean, Rodney Terry's loses his mind. BYU elevates their game home, shoots threes well. I mean, they need to kind of They need this one to kind of like turn the preseason expectations around and transition to Big 12. I like BYU here.
You'll lay the 7.
Yeah, I'll lay the
So
7.
that means you don't think it's a close game. So BYU to me, I mean, great start to the season. Offense was great. They made a ton of shots, were rebounding really well. Then they came to the Big 12, and I think it's been a rude awakening for them. I do think that they're a very difficult team to fade at home. It's amazing. I can't believe I'm going to take this, but I'll go with BYU, a 7-point favorite at home, as I'm just backing home team so far. Next on our list, we'll go a little bit lower in elevation. Clearly, we go all the way down to Naptown, Indianapolis, for Villanova visiting Butler, and that price will have. Or did you want to talk this? We can revisit this game at the end, but I'll just give you a number now. It is Butler, a 1.5-point favorite at home, total of 141 to Villanova.
Yeah, I think Butler's overrated at this point. I mean, they proved in preseason. They beat Marquette when Marquette had one of their worst days ever. I don't know. I don't think the Indianapolis crowd gets up for this one.
What Villanova's in town? You don't think Villanova's? You think the name's lost less?
An unranked Villanova team?
I mean, I think they still carry a lot of weight.
That's a sleepy Big East game. For a team that I think has downward momentum recently and kind of lost the Indianapolis crowd. Nova's a more talented team. I'm gonna take Nova on the road.
Oh man, there's not a lot of room, so that you think Nova's gonna win that game?
Yes.
I'm unfortunately I'm not with you, Big East Ben. I know it's your wedding day tomorrow, and congratulations to you, but I'm not giving you any gifts. So I think Butler -1.5 is it's not on your card yet. I would play it, as I think it climbs even higher from here. We'll next go to got our last game before we get into best bets. So stick around. Pretty interesting one out west. Back, we keep kind of switching coast. We're back to Arizona visiting Oregon, and that should be a dandy, as Brett Musburger would once said. I think we're at maybe 2 mentions of him this weekend. Pretty good trip so far, I'd say. We have Arizona a 3-point favorite. It's fallen from 5 all the way to 3 at on the road at Oregon. Total of 158 points.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona takes one on the chin at Oregon State. 18-point favorites. Bounce back game. Oregon has showed me absolutely nothing. Purely on the bounce back, I like the Cats covering in that awful court in Eugene, Oregon.
Wow, I'm taking it out on the court. I'm a believer in the trees, and I think Oregon they've really excelled. They had a lot of injuries to start the year. I mean, that happens every year to that team. But they've really found some good players, younger guys that stepped up in the spot, or when the spotlight became theirs, as opposed to the better players that were ahead of them. Now they're a lot deeper. The backcourt's better. I think Arizona's had problems in their backcourt. Umar Ball is a really tough guy to defend, but you can do that. You can beat 3s versus 2s. And I just think the Arizona backcourt is very limiting, unfortunately, for the Wildcats. So I will take Oregon +3 to Ben's Arizona -3. Stick around for a few more minutes as we're going to go through our best bets on this show. I thank you for tuning in. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a 5-star review if you want to congratulate Ben on his wedding, his pending nuptials, anything like that. All positive talk, of course, will be accepted on Apple or on Spotify. 5-star reviews would be huge for us. Ben, do you have anything you'd like to say to the people for your wedding day is cometh upon us?
I just like to thank my man Matt for being here with me. He's my co-best man.
Hell yeah, baby.
My co-best podcast host.
Thanks.
This is my chief graphic designer and co-best man, Matthew Country.
Honored to be here.
Yeah, and he's added a lot of value to this episode, and I love him to death.
Oh,
thank you.
my goodness.
And we also have Jack in the background too. He's been hanging around. And we got best bet. I mean, what
I
said.
best bet. I switched. So.
Oh yeah,
We have so we're gonna have a guest best bet. We literally
Our
been
first
hiding
ever guest best bet.
and we've been hiding Jack this whole time. He's gonna shoot a 3, and unlike Arizona. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, I guess I already said that. Leave a 5-star review, be huge. You want to congrats Ben on his nuptials. Other things we need to talk about. BetOnline has been sponsoring this podcast for a long time. I'm quoting lines from them. So if you don't have an account there, follow the link on the podcast description. You get a 50% match on your first deposit. Sportsbetting.ag, their sister site, is also doing something where they're giving you, I believe it's 100% match up to $500. So go get some free money from casinos. And it's about to be best bet time. So Do we want to go Jack from the corner first and then get into the rest of us?
Yeah, Jack, come up front.
We're gonna go with Providence. I was on Georgetown early here, but I think I gotta switch. Ed Cooley's not gonna have a nice welcome home.
He's not. The crowd's going to be very intense. Currently, Providence an 11.5 point favorite at home to Georgetown. Total of 142. That is your 12:30 Eastern time start. Very early for us in the Rockies. We'll move now to Big East Ben. You can give your best bet, and then I'll close it up and get us out of here.
Folks, this is your first ever double best bet. Providence minus 11.5. The greatest home court advantage in the past 5 years. Ticket gains is going to go off from 3. This crowd is going to be wild.
Wow.
Cooley's players hate him. Cooley's players hate him.
Book it.
Providence minus 11.5. We didn't plan this. My man, Chad.
I was on Georgetown when we walked in here, and I flipped.
It's fate. I'm getting married tomorrow. Providence minus 11.5.
All right. Jesus Christ. How do I follow that?
We're going all, but on that, we got it.
Yeah, we are.
Oh boy. I don't know what
I got a joint checking account now. I'm trading that sucker.
With the mortgage.
Hey, this is real underscore G Warner. This is Big East Ben's wedding night, or the night before the wedding. He looks studly as always. He just gave you his best bet, a double best bet, as we had a guest host come in with a pick from the 3-point wing. And so we have Jack and Big East Ben. They're both on Providence minus 11.5. Go Friars. For my best bet, I'm going to stay a little bit further west. We've already talked about this game on the show. I really like the Oregon Ducks at home against Arizona. Currently, Oregon, a 3-point underdog, and I think they win that game outright. So grab Providence College minus 11.5 from Big East Ben and Jack. And for my best bet, go with Oregon. They are a 3-point underdog at home. Thank you for tuning in for this episode. We'll see you next Friday for, I guess, Ben's first married version of the Need for Seeds podcast on the Bet and Pitch Podcast Network. Thanks for tuning in. That'll do it for this episode. And thank you all for watching. Thank you to our guests, and have a good one, Benny boy.
You'll lose your seat tonight.